Welcome to part 7 now, I think it is. In this part here now we're going to model the handle, but firstly I just sort of noticed how silly this looks, how wide it is. So we're going to just make them all narrower, so bring them all in, close up this gap here. That'll sort that problem for us, and then just bring these other ones in as well. So I'll just start with this one. Alt click to select that subtool, and just go to the front, and we can drag out a transpose line with symmetry on, holding shift on the end circle, constrain to that axis, and we'll just bring it in to about there. Alt click on this one, and for this one we want to mask out this middle section that we don't want to affect, so maybe to about there, and we'll drag out our transpose and holding shift to constrain it. That should do us there, and don't know if that, I'll just check the top. Yep, that's fine. Go to the bottom here, alt click on this one, and we'll just drag out our transpose and shift to constrain, and that should be that. Now we'll just do these as well. Now for these, it's pretty much just going to be the same. You can just hold shift, constrain them, and just make sure they're not penetrating, which they're not. And this one as well. So that the transpose line is still centered up there on that one, so we can leave it in position and just use that. And that was pretty easy to do, so that's that done. Right, so let's get on with the business of modeling the handle now. So we'll just go up here and choose just drag out a primitive cylinder, primitive anything, and come down to initialize. Make polymesh 3D first, and then just come down to initialize, and you have your settings here. I have them up on my UI, so we can just drop this down to 1 and Q cube, and now we'll move it down into position and just start to manipulate these verts around as we want them. So I'm just going to mask, invert, and bring that to there, clear the mask, invert, and we'll just bring it to there for the moment, clear the mask, invert, and last one. We'll just roughly kind of get them into position, and we'll start extruding out some parts then. So back to draw, clear the mask, and go to Q mesh, flat island or polygroup island, whichever, and we'll just drag that up maybe twice, and continue to manipulate, maybe add in an edge loop in here, and what I'm actually going to do now is I'm just going to delete those back facing, so now we just have a flat plane, and we can just manipulate the verts around into position as we'd like. So probably just, yeah, we let that go to there. So we'll just start as low as possible, just manipulating these into position. I'll just add another loop in there, and what we want to do now is the same as we've done on these other circular kind of slot parts. So we want to Q mesh a flat island, we'll just drag that out, and now we can drag this out as well. Now I'm just going to go up to fill mode 3, and now we can just going to delete these again, delete hidden, and now we can just move our verts into place. I'm going to be deleting these ones now anyway, so it doesn't really matter, so we'll just worry about this. Get that centered up where that circle is going to be, the center of the circle roughly. And maybe I will leave that for the moment. I'll just put one in here, and now we can split that. Do not crease, and we'll just split that to the size we want, and now we'll select these, same as we did before. Hold down Alt and delete hidden. I'll probably, yeah, that should be okay there. Delete hidden, and now we'll just start to manipulate the mesh, and we can extrude this out. Later on we'll leave this section and concentrate on here. So we'll just line up some of these verts back to our move tool. Sorry, back to the move tool. We'll line up some of these just with the features that are on the reference here. So maybe bring that down to there. I will keep that up there. I'm just going to drop my draw size down and just space some of these out a bit better. I'm going to leave that. We have an edge loop here around, following the surface here. I'm going to extrude that out, as I say, later on. Move them manually here. Well, let's bring that one up to there. We just want one sort of on the corner there, and then we're going to want one in here, and another one in here, so we can put that in the corner. Just move these slightly, shape it out a bit more. Another one here, move that into position as well, and another one here, one here. So basically we're just dropping them in here where we need them to try and follow the so our topology kind of follows the reference. So wherever you see changes in the geometry where we're going to need extra topology, we can add in these loops, and I'm probably just going to move that one down to there, and maybe add another one in here. Just to give it an extra bit there, and we'll also add one in here and bring that in. Right, so now just continue on down here. So we have this one in here, and I'm not going to leave that there. I'm going to actually allow this to follow this curvature, and I'll add another one here. So you get the idea what we're doing here. It's fairly straightforward stuff, just making sure, as I say, we have enough topology here to for our needs. just going to zoom in there, and I'm going to have to drop down the draw size so we can separate them a bit more. Drop that in there, and we're getting fairly tight on the edge loop, so I'm going to just move some of these up and raise the draw size again, and just spread these out a little bit more, and maybe I'd like to add one more in here. Move that in, and one more in here. Just reshape as you need. Dropping your draw size down as you do. And let's see. So we've basically 4 edge loops for this shape here, and we only really have 3 for each of these, so we'll add one more in here and spread these out a bit more. So we've one here, just so we can define that shape a bit better, as we've done with this one here. So we're nearly there with the shape, so you know, it's almost time we can clip this off later on. It's almost time to Q mesh and add some more. We can Q mesh out at the bottom here, but what I'm going to do here is we're just going to inset these. Probably just make sure that you have them shaped up as you like, and then we'll just use the inset just to kind of separate them out, and then we'll extrude them. So if you see here, I'm just actually going to keep moving and spread these out a bit more. Bring this down a bit, so you can tweak and tweak, and the more you tweak, obviously the better your shape. So the main thing is that we have I'm just going to maybe add one more in here, just so we can define this a bit better. So I'll spread this a bit more. So as I say, you know, as long as you have these main edges in that are going to define our main shapes. So this is going to be extruded, this here and this here, so we might even just bring these in on either side just to kind of round them out a little bit, you know. So it's looking pretty good. Excuse me, that's looking pretty good there. So I think actually we'll add one more in here, and we'll just use this topology that we already have. Instead of Q meshing, we can just shape that out a bit more there, and maybe just spread these a little bit and let that follow the flow of the edge loop above it there, and that looks pretty good. Right, so I'm just going to hover over a face, and we will Q mesh this out now. Flat island. I'm going to go back to fill mode 1, and we'll just Q mesh that out, give ourselves some thickness, and we're going to be mirroring this across, so you don't have to come out too thick, just come out enough there, you know. And now we can extrude that out there, and we can shape this now. So we're going to be back to using our transpose move, because we've obviously added some thickness, so we can't just move the verts around. But I find that's the way I would be doing it if I was modeling traditionally in 3D Max or something. I'd be edge modeling, but you can't really edge model in Zmodeler, it's a box modeler. So it's just a good way to maybe get a shape like that and get your topology laid out in an edge modeling fashion, and then you can extrude out. Okay, so I'm just going to bring out the transpose line, and yeah, we can worry about that later on. Now we're going to I'm going to tag these faces, so back up to fill mode 3. So we'll do these first. Sorry, it's it's still masked. So I'll just go back to fill mode 3, and I'm just going to maybe adjust some more points here just to make them a bit more similar in size. At the moment they're not really the same size or shape for that matter. So you'll notice this one has an extra edge loop running through it, so it's shaped that bit more down at the end, so I might just straighten that up. Let's see, and I'm just going to go to fill mode 1. Yep, that should be good enough there now. And now I'm going to inset, single poly, and inset. So what we'll do is I'm just going to take these verts and move them in, sort of flatten them out, and we let our extrusion take care of that. So I'm just going to move that one in. Sorry, move that one in, and we'll just move this one in. And now we'll allow our extrusion here to, as I say, to take care of that. So just clear your mask. We have a polygroup island there, so back to the Zmodeler-Zbrush and QMesh polygroup island, and we'll just come out once, and then we can just sorry, if we just come out once, and then you can tap Alt to change the polygroup color, and then just click up here to repeat that. I just want to check that now for a second, and I'm just going to set the sub divs here to 4, and I just want to check in fill mode. So I'm not happy with this here, so I want to just drop back down, and you can see that you know, these need to be slid back in. So I'm going to just we'll try slide first on the edge, and it's sliding. Sorry, it's sliding the entire edge loop complete. So we just go back to edge, I think I'll just move them with the transpose, because we'll have to end up doing that anyway. So we'll just move them back into position there, and now we can use the slide. Clear the mask first, and just use the slide, and we'll use the move now. I'll move this one down. Sorry, I'm going to just turn off symmetry and use slide. I'm just going to drop down the size of the brush, and we'll drag this one down here, just evenly space it out, and just check around. Seems okay. Maybe slide a couple of these, and we leave that where it was actually, and slide this one down just to spread that out. We can mirror them well again there. And while we're here on the slide tool, I'm going to just maybe slide turn symmetry back on and maybe slide these down and just increase the brush size a bit there, and see where they've extruded the normal direction they've extruded in. Drop the brush size down, and we will, yeah, we'll go with that now. We'll have a look at that. And just come back to fill mode 3, and just maybe a little bit of moving here to so I'm just going to go to mask lasso, and I'd like to just move this into position a bit more. So I'm going to grab a few more of these, and we'll just move them into position a bit better there. And maybe yeah, I think that'll do us there. Back to fill mode 1. I just want to check now what's going on here. You see we have this edge here, and if you look where it's averaging these verts out, when it's stretching, it's trying to average it out here, so we have an extra control edge in this one, so that's why it's not happening in that one. So we're just going to add in an extra loop there, and you can see the effect that that's had. And we might want to just move this just to space it out a bit more to keep that curvature. And yeah, that looks alright now. So now we'll do this part at the back. So we'll just clear the mask, back to our brush, and we'll just tag these faces here that we want, and back to fill mode 1. So we'll do the same here now. We'll just inset, and now this time we're obviously going to be Q meshing and going in, so polygroup island, and we can just go in once. You can always add crease in our edge loops later on. So let's see what that looks like. Yep, looks pretty good. We might want to just move some verts, maybe move these down. I'll have a look first and see what the reference. It's hard to tell, but it's pretty good there, so we'll actually leave that. And now we want to do this part down here, so we'll tag these faces. Just make sure to tag all these all the way out. And I'm going to just maybe yeah, I might just add in another edge loop here. and we can use that then for we can use that to shape here a little bit, and also line this up a bit better with our reference. Okay, and we'll just maybe tag these as well, and now we can go back to fill mode 1. And we'll Q mesh these. Q mesh a single poly. Just have a look now and see what that's like. We can, as I say, we can add in edge loops just to tighten up, which is what we're going to do now. Just add one in there. And now we might want to just shape this stuff up that we've added. You see it's come out way too far, so it's the same as what I did here. A bit of reshaping to do here as well. So I'll move these, move them back in, and just move that slightly in there as well. And the same thing here. This is including our extrusion here, so I think we've come out way too far, so we can always move them back in. Or else we could move it and then extrude it. So I'd like to just clean up this bottom part here. Turn off the floor. You see what's happened here. So it, instead of trying to fix all that, I'm just gonna. We can just maybe delete all these. Just clear the mask. And we'll just delete these. Just check our reference again, turn on the floor, and I'm going to use our slide tool here on a vert and just slide that down and fix up some of this kind of crazy geometry. Sorry, it's non-symmetrical, so it won't let me do that, so I'll just mirror and weld in a minute. It's no big deal. And you can see here it seems to have the whole thing seems to have moved again. So I'll just go to move and just bring it back in. And now we go about the business of fixing up the bottom here. So bring our fill mode back down to 1. Just going to turn off that floor, and I'll turn off symmetry, and we can just bridge some of these edges. So we'll come down to initialize, or sorry, display properties, and turn on double. And now we're going to bridge some of these. So what I might do first is I'm just going to take this edge loop and delete it, and then I can add it back in once I've bridged. So if we hover over an edge and bridge edges, and we just quickly bridge these. So to bridge, you're just going to click tell you there in the tooltip about clicking one edge and then clicking the other edge. So it can be hard sometimes to land on the edge. No. Jesus. Right, now that that's done there, I'm just going to use a clip curve just to tidy that up a bit more. So I'll turn the floor back on and fill mode to 3. So get our transpose into place. Just move some of these back to where they should be. Bring the transpose over this side. And one more. And that's pretty good. Now I just want to sort out this one here. You can see there, I'll just mirror and weld that again. And it's brought that edge loop back for us. And maybe slide this one down. And let's see what that looks like. Slide that one up a bit more. Slide it in. And I'm just going to go to move. And maybe just move some of these down a bit. And mirror and weld again. And turn on X. And slide. And one more bit of tweaking here. And a little bit more tweaking here. And that looks pretty good. We're just going to add in an edge loop here, just to tighten that up and allow us to shape it a bit better. So back to our transpose. You can also you know, there is also a transpose option within the Zmodeler toolset, but it's just as quick, I think, to just switch over to the transpose tool up on the interface, or which are W hotkey. Well, it is for me anyway. And it will just clear the mask and just clip that off. And bring that across. So that is pretty much the shape done. We just might take a look again. We're on subdiv 4 just to see what it looks like. One more thing I want to do is we obviously haven't really added in any control edges yet, really, one or two here and there. So we'll also want to do that, and I'm also going to just delete these here, delete those two, and the ones on the top I might just take one. I'll tell you, actually, I'm going to take we can take some of these and just bring them up to use for the top. So what I might do here is just go to Q mesh, and we can just steal this by Q meshing up, and then just Q mesh up, and then sorry, I'm pressing shift. You want to press control, and you can just break that off and clone that bit of geometry, and we'll use that for this other piece above here. I'm just going to Q mesh that up then again, and we'll just leave that there for the moment. And now I'm going to select these and delete them. So we'll delete these, and then we'll use our clip curve, and I just want to mask that in case it clips that. And maybe, or actually what I'll do is I'll just bring them up a bit more, bring them up a bit, mask this, and use a clip curve, and maybe we can even come down below that, maybe clip it there, and bring that up a bit more, and then re-add in the edge loop. You can see here, maybe you want to space some of these out a bit better. So just grab this, invert it, and just move it up slightly. Grab this, invert, and then we'll insert the loop here, and do the same. Grab the two of them. So whenever you add geometry in, you want to just make sure to kind of tweak it a bit there to maintain any sort of curvature that they already existed. So we'll just move and invert, and bring that in a bit more, and maybe this one as well, invert, and that should do us. So I'll take a look here and see what we have. Back to fill mode 3, or sorry, back down to fill mode 1, and clear the mask. And now that there's looks terrible, so I'm just gonna fix this up. Right, what we'll do here, I think, is we'll just rearrange some of this topology because we have a nasty pole here that's causing pinching. So we'll start by just stitching these two together, and then insert an edge loop here, and then we'll stitch these two together. So that just creates a quad here and quad here. So we can get rid of this edge loop here now, and that just tidies up that topology there. So you can see now that that pinching is gone, and we just need to deal with this over here as well. So you can't just delete that entire edge loop, so we can just stitch these up manually. So let's stitch. Just gonna slide. Maybe I'm just gonna slide all these down because you see where they're kind of collapsing in on top of each other. So this might all seem very tedious if you're watching this, but this is all sort of the types of things that you're going to be encountering while you're modeling. So it's no harm to kind of see how you might need to rearrange topology or edge flows and things like that, you know. So I might just bring that in, and back to stitch, and we'll just stitch that to there, and maybe move some of this stuff out. So we'll just go back to move, and maybe space that out a bit better here, just to make it a bit smoother, and maybe then into slide, and we'll just slide it along here to maintain and constrain it to the edges. Right, so one other thing there we might do is maybe slide some of these edge loops around a bit. Just space them out a little bit better. And then we can just go back to, we can just slide. Because we've symmetry on there. We'll be doing it on the far side as well. So, sorry, it's on edge loop complete, back to edge. And we just space some of these out a bit better. And space out these verts. And then I'd like to just insert an edge loop here at the bottom, just to tighten that up there, and maybe another one, maybe just there. It might be a bit too tight. We'll have a look now. No, that's pretty good there. The only thing is on the corner here. Just have a look on the corner. What's happening here? We just have a pole, a three-sided pole there. So we might spread them out a bit more. Or a three valence pole there, sorry, where three edges are coming together. But poles like 5-pointed poles and 3-pointed poles are essential for subdivision modeling. You can't model without them. You can't model effectively without them. So it's only 6 or more on a pole that's gonna be a problem. 6 or more edges converging onto one vert. So I think that's looking pretty good now. There's one more thing we want to do, and that's give a bit of roundness to the gun, the handle. So there's an easy way to do that. We can just go to scale, edge loop complete, and we can just scale it out there, and that'll give us a bit of roundness. No, it's not actually working in this case. I probably should have did it earlier on before we had all these details in. So what we can do instead is I suppose we can just slide some of these back on the edges here. So what we'll do is we're on points, so we can just slide these back, and that'll give us a roundness there. We slide this back as well. We'll leave that one where it is, and that's pretty square. We might just taper that off a little bit. Square around there, and let's see where else. Yeah, maybe bring that back just a touch more. You can see now we're getting that roundness. Do the same in the back. Don't like the way that's behaving there, so what I want to do here is maybe slide some of these up and slide some of these down. Just to kind of tidy that up a little bit there. And we can just continue to bring these in. kind of keep it straight here from an orthographic, and might just want to go to move and drop down brush size. I think we're still on slide there, sorry, we're still on slide. Back to move. Brush size is too small, and just to kind of straighten some of these up here, and do the same here now. Slide these back to slide, and just slide these back, just to give it a small bit of roundness there to the whoever thought we'd be doing this vert pushing and pulling in ZBrush of all places. Yeah, here we are. So maneuvering it is. Maybe let's have a look at edge slide, edge loop partial maybe. So that was just the edge loop partial, just to kind of do it a bit quicker. We'll have another look now. We have that bit of roundness. So one other thing I'm noticing here, I might want to just add in an edge loop here and add one in here, just to tighten that up, and we leave the bottom sort of rounded off. And I might just add another one in here. Sorry, not in there. I'm going to just inset this as a polygroup island, and that'll help to tighten that up a bit more. And then we'll just insert a loop there. Now I'm just going to move some of these down slightly. Just to give a bit of a harder edge there. Where that part is. Yeah, that's pretty good. And now next is oh yeah, the trigger. So we'll just we're heading on for an hour now, so sorry it's taken so long, but it's, you know, it's better to just take our time here. Remember, I'm still learning the Zmodeler as well myself, and tag these as well. Let's tag these as well, and inset once, maybe twice, and Q mesh back in, inset once, and Q mesh out. Now we'll do the same thing again. Just grab these, invert them, move. I'm just going to move them out, say like this, maybe. Just kind of manipulate them around now to get the shape of the trigger there. the mask, invert it, move it, and we need to add some edge loops in now just to tighten it up. So we'll put one in there and one there, and that'll just tighten up the trigger for us. And now if you wanted it, you could just adjust up some of this curvature. So one more thing to do here is clip the top, Z, and I'm just gonna delete these errant polys here. Yeah, that seems to have fixed it there, yeah. So it seems to have done the trick. So I'll just take a look now, and as I say there, if you want to you know, adjust some of these just to get that that curve looking a bit better. I won't. This is going on a bit long now, so I might do that between lessons. So what I will do is this piece up here, we'll just get that into position. So we just mask all this and move this down into position, and just Q mesh body group island, and we'll start to drag, and then just hold. Sorry, I want to do flat island. Start to drag and hold shift, and just pull it out enough past it. And now we'll just start to manipulate some of these around. Move. Clear the mask, and Q mesh flat island. Now we can just go to move flat island. Oh, sorry, it won't allow me to move on it. I'm just going to clip that so it's straight, and now we can just move it this way, and let's see, there's not much really to do with that except it has that circular part in there that's it's like a cutout, so we just insert an edge loop. And what can we do with that? Sort of cut into the gun there as well, so it's like, I don't know, safety or something maybe. So what we'll do here is split that out and insert a couple of edge loops first. Just want to see where it is. So it's a bit further up. Just get rid of that one. Just start it over here so we can snap it. We can snap it straight and then just move it across. So I'll say that's the center of the circle. And now we can split it out. let's see, we might just slide this back, slide that back, and what we'll do now is we'll just tag all these, and we'll Q mesh them, single poly. I'm just going to raise the size of the brush. The larger your brush, the less attracted it's going to be when it's see the way it snaps there. Now the only problem here is I might just insert the loop. Got a circle out there, and then we can tag these. Maybe just yeah, we'll just Q mesh it out once, tag them again twice, and 3 times. You can also hold Alt while you're Q meshing to change the poly group. Right, so now we'll just go to should be at the scale polygroup island. Okay, drop that brush size down and go to scale edge loop complete, and we'll just scale that in. Now we'll add some control loops here. Insert a couple of loops, one there, one there, let me just do the same over this side. Just want to check me check that reference again. Can just delete these, don't need them, and maybe we'll add a loop there and there so we can shape these more. Have a quick look. See, it's changing the shape here obviously, so I might move the whole lot together. So just have to mask, gonna create some sort of mask, and not that sort of mask. I'll just do them individually. So we want to bring these across. And these. These. And these. Just to give that a bit more of a shape. I'm actually going to go back to mask mask rectangle. We're going to just create a small mask here for these parts. I'll just just kind of eyeball that. And do the same over here. Right. So we get our kind of our circular shape kind of back again there. So we might just add you know, maybe add whatever, another couple of little bits of detail in. Maybe add a couple of edge loops here. Sorry, I'll redo that. And what can we do? Maybe we'll leave that one out actually and add one here. And then I just want to check, we'll try and Q mesh this back in maybe. See what that's like. Maybe just take these two and inset them. Maybe inset them twice and just Q mesh polygroup island and do that twice as well, just to give us a little kind of a nubbiny bit there. And one more thing then, I'll inset polygroup island. We'll just inset that once more, and just to give us a bit of a sharper edge there on that. And I also want to add an edge loop in here pretty tightly, and here. And what we'll do is I'll just slide these out a bit more, just tighten them up. Maybe the same here, just to tighten them all up. And we're gonna need, sorry, one more in here. Sorry, that was on inset, and inset polygroup, insert edge loop. We'll just insert one there anyway, I'll do. And there is our handle. As I say, I'm going to just probably mess around with the trigger here and all the rest. Sorry that one took so long, but it's just a bit more to that, and I'm not really used to recording these things while I'm trying to do something, so and I'm also learning Zmodeler, so excuses aside, hope you stuck with it, and we'll see it in the next part. The next part 8, we will model a magazine here. Alright, cheers, thanks, good luck.